Hi, this is All This Science. I'm Dillon, and I'm the guest podcaster for this episode on Wi-Fi routers. Today, I'll be telling you all about how Wi-Fi routers work, how far the signals can travel, and if there are any spooky or dangerous health concerns coming from the signals that the router gives off. My first topic in this segment has to do with the guts of how Wi-Fi routers work. So to start off, the main function of all Wi-Fi routers is to serve as a road of communication going between the devices you all use in your house, such as your mom's iPad or your dog's electronic feeder, and it then communicates those signals to the external internet. So basically, it routes all the connections coming in and out of your house, and it tries to find the quickest and easiest way to route them. However, the router is not the only thing that contributes to keeping up your social media feed. There's also the modem. As said by Norton Internet Security, without a modem, you only have a local network that's not connected to the outside internet at all. The modem is a part of your connection that actually brings the internet from your provider and then sends it to your router, which is then sent out to all the devices in your house and comes back to the router. Those are all the main components of how a Wi-Fi router and modem work to deliver you the fast internet that everyone needs these days. Next up in this segment is how far Wi-Fi signals travel and how to maximize the distance throughout your whole house to get maximum coverage. Wi-Fi routers emit radio waves that fall under the electromagnetic wave spectrum. These waves begin at the router and go out in multiple directions until it finds a device that can receive these signals. These waves travel at two common frequencies, starting at 2.4 GHz on the lower end and 5 GHz on the higher end. However, when you use the higher frequency waves, the range is shorter due to a shorter wavelength. If you are planning on using the faster waves, you should try and increase the range by placing your router in a prime position. This means that you should try to put your router in the center of your home, in the middle floor if you have multiple stories, so that the signal can travel an equal distance throughout your entire home and get maximum coverage. Many routers also have antennas that are placed throughout them. These antennas should be oriented perpendicularly so that you should get maximum coverage in every single direction, instead of all just having them pointed in one direction. One of the biggest enemies of everyone's Wi-Fi signals is the walls. Sometimes people will have their router enclosed in a small little box to hide them because they may not think it's aesthetically pleasing to the rest of your house. However, doing this cuts off many of the electromagnetic waves from getting outside because the walls will absorb and bounce the electromagnetic waves. This means that you should try to have your router in an unenclosed space. Another thing that may cause a bad connection speed is being way too close to your router. When you get too close to the router, you may experience overpowering signals causing retransmission and data corruption, as stated by Astro Network Solutions. This means that you should stay a moderate distance away from your router so you get the maximum speed and the best performance that you can get. Another fun fact from an article by Scientific American about Wi-Fi interference is that microwaves and Wi-Fi signals have very similar frequencies of about 2.4 GHz. This means that sometimes people with old or malfunctioning microwaves will have problems with the Wi-Fi when they're using their microwave. So if you follow all these steps and hold off on the microwave ramen, you should have a fast and uninterrupted Wi-Fi connection. One of the biggest misconceptions about Wi-Fi signals is that it has radiation, which will be harmful to you if you stray too close to your router. Radiation has become another buzzword that many people associate with horrible things like nuclear bombs or dirty bombs. However, the RF radiation coming from Wi-Fi routers is non-ionizing, meaning it does not do any major harm to your body as long as you're exposed to an acceptable level of it. Many studies conducted by France's Agency for Food, Environmental, and Occupational Health and Safety show that the exposure levels from Wi-Fi routers are well below a hazardous level. Wi-Fi routers are also not the main source of RF exposure, anyways. A study done by the University of Barcelona shows that 4% of RF exposure comes from Wi-Fi routers, and the remaining 96% comes from other uncontrollable sources, such as TV station waves. This shows that Wi-Fi router signals do not actually give you lethal doses of radiation like some people would have you believe. Rather, it gives off safer RF waves to communicate between devices, and these waves are far below any hazardous exposure levels. That concludes this episode of All This Science. You can contact us at allthisscience@gmail.com if you'd like. Thank you for listening.